The U.S. is tracking a big drop in tourism from around the world. Take a look at this. Travel from Canada and Mexico was down double digits in March.
In 2025, the United States has entered an unprecedented period in tourism history. Destinations once overflowing with travelers from Canada and Mexico are now down by half.
In April, but fewer passengers were flying to the U.S. It's a sign that efforts by American destinations to win back Canadian tourists may be falling flat.
With travel from Canada to the U.S. down 48% by air and 35% by land in the first 6 months of the year. But it's not just about empty hotels or fewer flights. In fact, it's an indication that America's image and perception in the world is changing rapidly, meaning that the decline in interest in the country has not only economic but also diplomatic and cultural consequences, leading to a hidden crisis. So what happened? Why is the world turning its back on America? What are the deeper reasons behind this change? Today we will take a look behind the scenes of this quiet but profound crisis. If you think we have an opinion on this, don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments, because this is not just a matter of tourism, it is a matter of global perception. Let's get started. The wave of distrust is rising. What does this mean? In the past, coming to America only required a plane ticket and, of course, some money. Now, however, it has become a source of uncertainty, stress, and potential difficulties for visitors. You might ask, why are they stressed? Let me explain. Visitors from European Union and Asian countries are facing long border waits, aggressive questioning, and even thorough inspections of their digital devices. Such incidents are not only making headlines at airports, but also on social media and in the press. For example, in April 2025, an Australian passenger was detained for 8 hours at JFK Airport and then deported due to a suspicious itinerary. He had traveled to Florida for a Costa cruise, but was not allowed into the country. This is a clear indication of diplomatic tension. Countries such as Germany, Japan, and Australia explicitly mention these details in their official travel advisories. The German Foreign Ministry states that a valid visa no longer guarantees entry. Japanese NHK television repeatedly broadcast news reports of engineers being interrogated for hours. These incidents are creating a serious deterrent effect in the eyes of potential visitors. If you have experienced something similar, please share your story in the comments. Such stories can help others make more informed decisions. The impact of social media. These issues are not limited to news headlines. Social media platforms, especially TikTok, Reddit, and Instagram, are flooded with personal stories of hardship. Users are sharing their negative experiences at U.S. border crossings with a wide audience. The titles of these videos are particularly clear and attention-grabbing. "Don't go to the U.S. We were held at the airport for hours." These posts are going viral quickly and reaching millions of people. This is rapidly changing the perception of tourism in the U.S. and causing potential tourists to turn to alternative destinations. Economic impacts. So, is this change purely emotional? Absolutely not. According to data from the U.S. Travel Association, tourism revenues fell by 28% in the first quarter of 2025. And, of course, this decline has had an impact. Let's take a look at it step by step. Airlines have reduced their flights, and hotels are offering discounts on top of discounts. Small-town businesses are launching campaigns to save the season. Is that enough? No. And additionally, restaurants and retail stores are at risk of closing due to the lack of expected tourist traffic. The impact of this loss is not limited to major cities. It is particularly devastating in small towns and coastal regions that rely heavily on tourism. These regions, which derive a significant portion of their annual income from tourism, have already begun laying off staff and downsizing their operations. Do you think this trend can be reversed? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. Increasing competition and the rise of alternative destinations. Another important reason is increasing global competition. Yes, you heard that right. By 2025, European, Asian, and South American countries will be making significant investments to revive tourism. Countries like Greece, Portugal, Vietnam, and Colombia have entered a race to offer visitors more affordable and hospitable experiences. Especially in the post-pandemic period, many countries have simplified visa processes, offered tax advantages, and launched comprehensive digital marketing campaigns. In contrast, the U.S. is losing its appeal due to complex visa procedures and border issues. This is enabling travelers to shift their focus away from the U.S. to other countries. A survey conducted in the United Kingdom shows that 60% of Britons no longer consider the U.S. in their vacation plans. Instead, they prefer destinations within Europe and countries in the Far East. Additionally, environmentally conscious tourists are also choosing the U.S. less frequently. With a focus on reducing their carbon footprint, they are opting for shorter flights and nature-focused vacation options. This is another factor diminishing the U.S.'s appeal as a long-distance destination. Weakening cultural connections. Another overlooked but important factor is weakening cultural ties. For many years, the United States captivated audiences around the world with its cultural influence, cinema, music, and popular culture. However, this influence has been eroding in recent years. For many young Europeans and Asians, American culture is no longer as appealing as it once was. Local content is overtaking American productions on digital platforms. European productions, Korean dramas, and Latin American documentaries are gaining popularity on Netflix and similar platforms, while demand for American content is declining. This is also affecting people's travel preferences. Countries with which they have cultural ties and are familiar with new content are becoming more attractive. As a result, cities like Paris, Seoul, or Lisbon are overtaking Los Angeles or New York. This change shows that the U.S. needs to reevaluate not only its border policies, but also its cultural diplomacy strategies to become attractive again in tourism. In conclusion, the tourism crisis the U.S. is experiencing is not merely an economic downturn, it is an image crisis, a perception issue. And the solution will not come solely through new advertising campaigns. The U.S. must once again become a reliable, friendly, and respectful destination for visitors. This transformation will only be possible through positive change at every stage of the visitor experience, not just through policies. Perhaps it begins with acknowledging that every traveler carries a story and deserves respect. Everyone, from airport staff to hotel receptionists, must embrace this awareness. If you are also hopeful about this, like the video and write, "I am still hopeful," because emerging from this crisis will only be possible through collective awareness. Tourism is not just about flight reservations. It is a bridge where human stories intersect. Now is the time to take more sensitive steps to rebuild this bridge.